Alexandria Crow, and this is Nicole Shaka, and today we're going to work on pick-up, jump back. In Ashtanga, we do a million pick-up, jump backs, and it's one of those poses or transitions that everybody wants to learn how to do, and it kind of seems like it's shrouded in mystery. So we're going to demystify it today with this sequence that hopefully will help build to the inevitable pick-up, jump back with the feet clearing the floor. So let's get started, Nicole, and come to child's pose. So bring your big toes together, let your knees be a little bit apart, and then fold forward at your hips and walk your hands out in front of you. Good. And then just let your forehead come to the floor. And then start with the hands, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then just notice if the weight seems to go into the outer hand a little bit more than your inner hand. If it does, ground down through just the base of the thumb and index finger. So much of this is going to be about the anchor of the hands, and then from that lifting away from the floor. So firmly ground down, and then start to take that energy up into the forearm, so your forearm bones start to rebound up off of the mat. And then squeeze the outer arms in, and just notice as you do that, if you pinch to the base of your neck at all, spread your shoulder blades nice and wide. And then think about the crease of your hips drawing back away from the heel of your hand a little further. And then from here, without changing too much of what's been set up in your arms, tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back and go to downward facing dog. And then once you're here, reestablishing again from your hands, find the inner hand, ground it firmly down. And then you should start to feel this effort of rebound of the forearms lifting. The upper arms get interesting as well. They're not just an addition. And then they squeeze in towards the midline. And then the shoulder blades stay nice and wide. And then sometimes there's a little extra weight into the hands. So we want to start to cultivate that idea of weightlessness. The belly lifts in and up just enough to support the low back. No more than that. No rounding here. And then thighs press back. And draw your heels down any amount more. Spread your toes, just because they look pretty that way. All right. And then from here, walk your hands back to meet your feet. And if your hamstrings aren't ready to be completely straight yet, a little bend in your knees, grab hold of your elbows and hang forward. Good. And then just a little relaxation. Let your neck go. Let the waist draw long. Feel your elbows pull down towards the mat. And then from there, release your arms down. Inhale, pull your chest forward, find a flat back. And then for you, a little extra arch here. So pull the belly in just a little bit so you feel supported. And then bring your hands to your hips. And then with a nice flat back, press down. Inhale, stand yourself all the way up. And let's warm up a little bit. Come up to the front of your mat. Join your feet together. Release your arms down to your sides. And so for pick up, jump back, just so much about it is about the anchor of what's into the floor and then what lifts up. So find the root of your feet at evenness from heel to toe and side to side. And then press the thighs back and just draw your tailbone down. And then as if you were wearing a corset, if I gave you one of those really fancy ones, imagine the corset pulling in so that your chest starts to lift up and the crown of your head lifts up a little bit higher. And then without changing the shape of your spine, inhale, reach your arms out to the side, stretch them up overhead. You've got nice straight elbows, so look up and bring your palms to touch. Good. With a flat back, part your arms apart. Fold yourself at the hips all the way down, Uttanasana, and fold. And inhale, look up and lengthen your spine forward. And then keep the palms planted. Step one foot back and then the other. Just a plank pose. Bring the shoulders up over your wrists and scoop the low belly just enough that the tailbone is reaching back. Good. And then shift your weight slightly forward onto your tiptoes. Bend your elbows and lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows stay drawn in. Flip your toes. Press your hands down. Inhale to lift your chest up. Shoulder heads back. Good. And then curl your toes under. Nice straight knees. Pull back, downward facing dog. And once you're there, again, little anchor into the hands. Feel the outer arms hugging in, and that effort of stretching the side body even longer away from the hands by working your legs, thighs back. And look forward, high onto your toes. Think hands press, hips high, and step or lightly hop your feet. Your choice, I'll give it to you. And then inhale, stretch forward, look up. Exhale, just the crease of the hips folds you back down. And press down to rise up. Inhale, reach your arms out to the side, sweep them up overhead, look up, palms touch. Exhale, release your arms back down to your sides. Good. Again, inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Feel the side waist growing tall. Good. Exhale, arms apart and down, fold, Uttanasana. Good. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Look for the openness in the chest. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Good. Good. And then bend your elbows, lower chaturanga, belly lifting, hands pressing. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. And then again, just using the legs, thinking about the crease of your hips working here. So much of this is hip flexor work. So just a little bit of the idea of the crease of the hips pulling you away from your hands. And then look forward and step or lightly hop by pressing down and lifting the hips. And then inhale, stretch forward. Good. Exhale, forward and bend. Inhale, rise up to standing again. Feel the side waist grow even taller. Exhale, arms to your sides. Good. Let's move to sun salute B. Keep the weight even into your feet again. And then inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, reach your arms up overhead, look up, nice straight elbows, you got them, all right? Palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, bend, straighten your legs out, lift up through the crease of your hips. Good. Inhale, stretch your chest forward, look up and lengthen. Then I'm going to give it to you, your choice. Press the hands, either step or lightly hop, chaturanga. Gorgeous. Inhale, press down, lift the chest up. Exhale, pull your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot nice and lightly forward between your hands. Spin your back heel down. Keep your right hip squeezed in. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Look up. Good. Exhale, hands to the mat. Feel the hands press. Shoot your right leg back, belly lifts. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower chaturanga. But press down, spread your collarbones wide and lift up. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Left foot, step it forward between your hands. Right heel spins flat. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, hands down. Watch the hands, get them firmly rooted. Shoot the left leg back. Keep the lift of the belly lower, chaturanga, collarbones wide. Good. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing. And then 5 even breaths. Think about the thighs still pressing back, the very center of your heel descending down. And that firm anchor into your hands, that's where the weightlessness is going to come from. You're going to think hips pushing way back away from the heel of your hand. You'll look forward, and then you're going to think hips over wrist, thigh bones to chest. Step or lightly hop your feet. Inhale, chest up. Good. Exhale, flat back and fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, Utkatasana, chair pose, reach up. Exhale, press down, stand, Samastitihi, release it. One more time. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, lift up as you sit back. Exhale, fold forward and straighten out. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look up and lengthen. Good. Exhale, press down, step or lightly float, think silence. Good. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, pull back, downward facing. Right foot, step it up. Back heel seals down with lots of control. Inhale, rise up, chest square. Exhale, hands down, step back. Nice and slow to lower, exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Left side, left foot forward, right heel down. Big inhale to the top, warrior one. Exhale, hands down. Good. Step back, bend and lower. Inhale, chest up, shoulders back. Exhale, pull up and back, downward facing dog. And just a couple even breaths. So let's look at plank a little further, kind of the foundation for this. So inhale, shift yourself forward to plank. And then once you're there, start to find, again, that same firm connection into the hands. So your hands are going to press down. The outer arms are going to hug in. And then the collarbones stay nice and wide. But then at the same time, the shoulder blades are nice and wide. I want you to press up between your shoulder blades just a little bit so you round here. But then pull the sternum forward a little more. Good. Now come to the low belly. Scoop the low belly up so that you feel your sit bones and tailbone draw straight back. And thighs up, heels draw back. Good. And again, just come to it. Connection of the hands pressing, belly lifting. All right. Back, downward facing dog. Good, very nice. Let's put that together with chaturanga. So not much should change. The only thing that's going to change is the elbows. We'll do some push-ups. All right, so inhale, shift forward again. Feel the hands pressing, the belly lifting. Let that all stay the same. The legs are going to do lots of work too. Shift slightly forward and then bend, chaturanga. Once you're there, keep everything wide. Shoulder blades, collarbones, hands firmly rooted. Inhale, back up to plank. Good. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, straight back up. Make sure the belly's still lifting, tailbone is back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Good, 2 more, you got it. Exhale to lower. Inhale, back up. Last one, exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Take the hips up and back, downward facing. Drop down, rest, child's pose for a moment. I'll give it to you. All right. So much about this is about connecting the hands to the floor and then the belly lifting up. That idea of the root and a rebound. Good. Okay. And then from here, press back up, downward facing dog. Let's start to set up the shape of the pick up, jump back a little bit more. Okay, so inhale, shift yourself forward to plank. Bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. And then pick your right foot up 1 inch. Okay. I want you to think about the inner thigh spinning up, the energy drawing back through your right heel, and that idea of the outer arm squeezing in. Now maximize that. Pull that right knee in towards your chin. And then once it's here, I want you to really round. So the hands press down, the outer arms squeeze way in, the upper spine rounds way towards the ceiling, and then you think about the right hip flexor working. Use that thigh bone to chest, heel to tush, get as tiny and compact as you can get. Okay, stretch your right leg back, set it down on the mat. Let's press back to downward facing dog just for a moment. And then inhale, shift forward to plank again. Good. Pause to exhale. Pick your left foot up 1 inch. Good. Find the hands, press them firmly, squeeze the outer arms in, scoop the low belly. Now maximize it, knee to nose. Pull it in, round. Good. Keep the shoulders over the wrists, the elbows squeezing straight, the upper spine rounded. Now really work from the hip flexor. Glue the thigh up, glue the heel to the tush. Gorgeous, Nicole. Stretch left leg back, set it down, press back, downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Okay. And from here, just drop down. Rest, child's pose, 1 moment. Arms out in front of you. Good. Very nice. And then as you're ready, keep the hands pressing, set up that whole idea again. Why lose it now? We might as well go with it. You've already really worked it. Press back to downward facing dog. All right, little core work. We got to do it. Little bit of belly. Okay, look forward and just hop to sitting. Cross your ankles and sit down. Good. And start with Navasana. Okay, so feet on the floor. Bring your knees all the way together and hands to the backs of your thighs. So much of this is about not rounding the back and using the hip flexors. Are so important in pick up, jump back. They seem like they wouldn't be. It seems like it's all belly. It's not. It's hip flexor. Okay, so lean back just slightly. And I want you to lean back and just notice how the low back rounded a little. I want you to keep the chest wide and lean back just enough onto your sit bones that you can start to make the feet a little bit light. Okay, once that happens, then keeping the chest wide, start to make the feet even lighter. Knees bent, keep the knees all the way together, right? And then outstretch your arms, make them parallel to the floor, no hitchhiker thumbs. Good. And then from here, if you can keep the chest wide, then start to straighten your legs and spread your toes. But if you lose that chest thing, then knees bent. It's all right, we're gonna do this. 5 breaths, you'll hold here. I'm going to give you that was almost 5, right? And then hands down, cross your ankles, and take a little rest. All right, that's all. That's all. Okay, so a little rest in between. And we're going to do it 5 times because that's the way it goes. All right, so again, come into it. Feet on the floor, chest up, hands to the backs of the thighs, shift slightly back, and then start to reach through the toes, straighten your legs, straighten your arms. Good. Keep the idea of the hip flexor crease, the crease of the hips where your pants are wrinkling, deepening as the chest lifts and widens. Elbows nice and straight. Good. Okay, set it down. Rest. That's 2. 3 more. You got it. All right, lean back, same thing. Feet on the floor, lift, open, reach. Good. Once you're there, to think about the back ribs moving into the chest like they do an up dog. The hip flexors working to pull your thigh bones to your chest. Good. And then set it down. Rest. Relax. 3. Last 2. Sit back. Lift up. Good. And then find the breath. So let it not feel frantic. Let it feel like the breath is moving just like it was in that very first child's pose. Good. And then set it down and rest. So much about this is about committing to kind of doing it day in and day out, knowing that one day it's just going to happen. So part of that is this work. Shift back, lift the chest. Good. Last one. Arms out. Spread through the toes. Nice soft face. Good. All right. And then set it down. Rest. Just take a moment. Right? We're going to combine that with the next pose. We're going to do Navasana, Ardha Navasana. We're going to work the hip flexors a little bit more. Okay, so weight back into your tush again, feet onto the floor, all right, and then lift the chest up. You're going to set it up the same way. Shift slightly back, keep your collarbones wide, pick your feet up off of the mat, good, and then straighten your legs all the way out and reach your arms forward. Okay, from here, exhale, lower yourself down, Ardha Navasana. Good, keep the belly scooping, toes spread wide, collarbones wide. Now lead with the heart, think hip flexor crease is going to work. Inhale, back up, Navasana. Gorgeous. Exhale, lower, Ardha Navasana. Inhale, lift and open. Good. Exhale, lower it down. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, back down. Good. Keep reaching through the toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower it down. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Good. And then hug your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze. And then rock yourself up to sitting. And then once you're sitting, and have you come forward to all fours. And we're going to work on Lolasana. Right, so little dangling action here. All right, so we're going to come at this a few different ways. So first we're just going to start with hands on the blocks. Set them up just kind of halfway between your thighs and your your knees and your hips. And then make sure your hands are fully onto the blocks, so no fingertips hanging off the edge. You need to have that firm foundation that we set up at the beginning. Right, so palms are firmly pressing. You're going to just keep your elbows straight and lean your chest slightly forward so that you shift the weight into your fingertips. Now you're going to think round your back. Round it a lot. Good. Scoop the belly up. Okay, now start to work the crease of the hips again. Bring the thighs to your chest. Good. Hands pressing, upper back rounding, knees as close to the chin as you can get them. Now maybe put your right foot up an inch. Try to bring the heel to your tush. Gorgeous. Spread through the toes. And then set that foot down. Left one. Pick the left one up. Hug it in. Round. Hands firm. Good. Set it down. Come down. Rest. All right. Yeah. Very nice. Okay, so this time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to see if you can get both feet to come up, even if it's just for a second, even if it's just a little kick. It doesn't matter. What just matters is committing to it every day a little more. That moment when you want to crash into the ground, if you can just hold it for one little microsecond longer, that's what makes all the difference. So hands pressing, same thing, elbows squeezing straight. Start to round the upper back as you shift your weight forward into your fingertips. Now once the upper back is rounded, thigh bones to chest, lean a little more weight into the fingertips. Try to get both heels up. Good. Okay, set it down. Rest. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, and from here, you're actually going to come to sitting with your legs out in front of you again. Okay. So, to all fours, sit with your legs out in front of you. Okay, so we're going to work on Dandasana pickup. So this is kind of the start to how we're going to move into the pickup jump back. We're going to do this one without blocks. Okay, so hands just a little bit in front of your hips, and then fingers spread wide again. Find that same firm anchor that we've been working the whole time, right? And then feet flexed. I like to make Barbie feet here because they're pretty, and I don't know, it just makes it easier. Let's just go with it. Okay, so hands pressing, and then you can do that same thing where the low belly is going to start to scoop, and you're going to round the upper back. Okay, so press your hands down, scoop the low belly, round the upper back, and start to pick your tush up. Okay, now maybe one foot comes up a little bit. Good, set it down. Maybe the other foot comes up a little bit. Set it down, sit down, rest. All right, and do that again. Same thing. All right, so hands pressing. Round the upper back by pressing, squeeze your arms in, good. Pick one foot up, think hip crease working. Set it down, other foot up, set it down. Okay, sit down, rest. Okay, this last one, we're gonna do the same thing as Lolasana. Maybe they both come up, maybe they don't. What matters is the effort, so here we go. Hands pressing, outer arms in, round your upper back, good, and then they come up. All right, work the hip crease a lot. Very, very nice, very, very nice. Okay, so from here, let's start to put it together a little bit more. All right, so We're going to do an utputihi variation, so a pick up and kind of hold little situation. Okay, so blocks go in the same place that you had them for Dandasana. Right? You're going to cross your ankles and bring your thighs to your chest. Right? And you're going to think tiny little compact shape. Okay, so hands onto the blocks, same thing. Fingers all on the blocks, palms firmly planted. Okay, and then you're going to press down and start to lift yourself up, straightening your arms. Once you're up, round the upper back a lot, thigh bones to chest, and try to get everything to come up off the mat. First time, let's do it with just the toes down. So toes down, press down, lift up and round. Good. Make yourself teeny tiny, and then set it back down. Okay, this time when you pick up, we're going to keep your thighs hugged in, keep the feet up. You're going to press your hands down, try to pick the entire thing up. No, today it might be an inch, today it might be a millimeter, it doesn't matter. What matters is the pressing down, the rounding, the below belly scooping. Okay, so here we go. Press down, outer arms in, pick everything up, think thighs to chest, heels to tush, really little. Good, set it down and rest. All right, are you ready? You ready for the full thing? Okay, so we're going to combine kind of everything together now. Okay. So you're going to do that variation you just did, and then you're going to combine it with chaturanga as you shift forward. And then at the very last second, you're going to resist the urge to crash into the ground. You're going to think thighs to the chest and try to shoot your legs back and end up in chaturanga. So we'll see how it goes. We'll give it a couple goes. But let's shift you forward a little bit here so that you end up with your feet on the mat. All right. So, in your head, you think, today's the day. I'm going to do it. And if it doesn't happen, you go, well, maybe there's always tomorrow. No big deal. All right. Hands pressing, outer arms hugging in. Here we go. You're going to start to pick everything up. Make yourself really little. Start to shift the weight forward into your fingertips. Bend your elbows. Look for chaturanga at the very last second. Shoot it back. Excellent. Inhale, go to up dog. Exhale, press back. Downward facing. All right. Look forward. Hop to sitting, and let's try that one more time. Ooh, woo-hoo. Very nice. Okay, so one more time. So as you press down and start to lift up, I want you to take a little extra weight into your fingertips and think chaturanga. Okay, so the thighs stay glued to the chest, and you'll have a little bit more hang time for the legs to shoot back. Okay, so think really tiny, like Alice in Wonderland shrunk down. All right, here we go. Hands press down, lift up, round, shift the weight forward, bend your elbows, think belly up, shoot the legs. Gorgeous. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, press back downward. Good, drop your knees down and take child's pose. Excellent job. Gorgeous. Okay. So super heavy on hip flexor and core work. So I bet you could use a little back bend now. So. How about you roll up to sitting, swing your legs around, coming to laying on your back. Could you leave those? All right. Okay, so let's do bridge pose, just because it'll feel really good at this point. All right, so feet hip distance apart. Just make sure the inner edges are parallel, arms next to you. I want you to think about your outer hip rising, the inner thighs rolling down. So inhale, lift your hips up. Good, once you're there, walk your shoulders underneath of you. Once they're as far under as they'll go, try not to pull them away from your head at all so you're not flattening your neck. And then kind of opening up all of that stuff we just did. So inner foot is grounding, inner thighs are spinning down. And then as the inner thighs spin down, I want you to think about your outer hips climbing up a little bit more. And then just because we did all that upper back grounding as well, make sure you're pressing into the elbows, wrists, and shoulders all evenly. Take the upper back into your chest a little bit. Good. And then split your arms apart. And nice and slowly roll yourself all the way down. Let's just do one more of those because I bet it will feel amazing. All right. So a couple breaths in between and then lift it up. Walk it in. Good. Starting to cool down. Starting to slow the breath back down a little bit. Yeah, just lifting the hips a little bit more just to open out what we did. And then separate your arms apart and slowly roll yourself down. And give your knees a nice big squeeze into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shin bones, give them a hug, little massage on your low back. And then keep your right knee hugged in, reach your left leg out, set it all the way down on the floor, and then drop your right knee over to the left. Take a little twist, reach your right arm out, look over your right shoulder, and give you a little shove here. So just starting to unwind, let your breath relax a little bit. Let yourself move into the floor. And then come back up to center and hug both knees into your chest. Give them a good squeeze again. And then keep your left knee hugged in, get your right leg out, and then drop your right knee over to the left. Hips out. Can't make it uneven. And again, just if your eyes are ready to be closed, they can be closed. And then come back up to center again. Give your knees one last hug in. Just give them a good tight squeeze. Do anything you need to do in order to feel symmetrical and even and ready to take rest. And then once you're ready, outstretch your legs in front of you. And you set up all of those poses before with such meticulousness. So set this Shavasana up with the same amount of attention to detail. So legs just wide enough that it feels like your inner thighs can relax up to the ceiling. And shoulders down your back so your chest feels propped open. And then hands relaxed, eyes closed. And just soften your breath. And let it relax as the rest of your body relaxes. And giving yourself this final place of rest, Shavasana. And let your next breath be a little deeper. And as you feel ready,